Is being a parent, essentially being a father or a mother, equivalent to playing a video game on the hardest difficulty? So really what I'm asking you is, do you think being a parent is extremely difficult? Is one of the hardest things you can do in life? I've been asked this question a couple different times, so I figured I'd take some moment to answer my own questions and thoughts on it. And I'm also really curious what everyone else thinks. So make sure you put your comments down below. So my thought process behind it is, and I'm a father of a 2-year-old. His name's Oliver. I really love being a father, honestly. But there was a lot of negativity that me and my wife Madeline heard before we even had Oliver in our lives, while she was just pregnant, or even just saying we were going to have kids. They're like, oh, like all the parents we would know would like, oh, get ready to expect this, and they show their kids like acting crazy or screaming or whatever, right? And like it's kind of insinuating that that's what all parenthood would be. And yet, there, as being a father of a 2-year-old, I know there's a lot of difficult situations as being a parent, and a lot of things that require you to grow and become a better person. And there is a lot of changes in your environment, a lot of changes in your routine, a lot of changes in your sleep patterns, and your relationships with your significant other. Definitely a drastic change, right? So I would definitely agree that it definitely increases the difficulty of life, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad thing, right? And if you look at video games, usually the best rewards are hidden behind the most difficult challenges. And I would say being a parent is one of the best rewards on the planet. Being able to help raise a life and grow a life and mold their future is one of the most amazing things I could ever imagine. And it's interesting because not only does my child learn from me, I'm learning from him every single day. So I would say, yes, your sleep does drastically change. You don't get to go sleep throughout the night the whole time anymore. Your relationships with your wife, you can't always go be intimate with each other all the time, right? You can't always have certain kinds of talks when their kids are around. And it's important to show your kids these kind of situations as well, but to a point, right? And there's another thing people don't really think about is, what is the condition you're in before you even have kids, right? Because if you're struggling in life already, then yeah, of course it's going to make it way more difficult when you have a child. Like there's no doubt about it. I highly recommend it before you become a parent, you work on yourself first, because your kids are going to learn everything from you. They're going to learn your habits, your not so good habits, your good habits. They're going to learn your negative talking. They're going to learn the way that you're look at things. They pick up on all the cues, and even if we don't realize they do. So it's really important that for your kids' sakes that you address all those things inside yourself now, which is easier said than done. It does require a lot of work, and I'm not perfect by any means, but I've done a lot of work on it myself. It's also important to remember that you don't have to be perfect. It's not about perfection being a parent. It's about progression and becoming a better parent every single day, a better version of yourself every day. And showing your kids that you're able to overcome something that's super challenging in your life is one of the coolest things to show them, because then they can really see that, hey, almost anything can be done. Even if it's a really hard, difficult situation, it can still get done, and it's worth it too. And that self-work is so important. Honestly, it's probably one of the main reasons why being a parent is difficult, because as you go longer and longer as being a parent, I've only been a parent for 2 years, but there's been a lot of situations where I realized, wow, I need to start acting a different way. I need to respond better to certain situations. And it changed my communication styles, because honestly, it's not the best communication styles, and it could be better to show my son something better. It could be better to just increase my relationship with my wife and with my family members and whoever else, right? So it's always about doing inner self-reflection and asking yourself, how can you be a better parent every day? And then on the flip side, a lot of people don't actually think about this, but having a kid is actually also can be really powerful, and in some ways make things easier if you use it to your advantage. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about becoming more like self-aware and starting to critically ask yourself when you're going to do something that you shouldn't be doing, right? Like going to go eat a bunch of junk food, or go get Chick-fil-A, or go drink all night, or go snort some cocaine, or jerk off, or smoke cigarettes, whatever it may be, whatever your vice is. And you shouldn't be doing it. You know that you wouldn't want your kids to see you doing it. Take a moment to really think about your kids. Think about the example that you'd have on your kids. Think about the kind of parent you want to be for your kids. And then ask yourself, is this going to align with that? Is this going to get me to that point? And the majority of the time, the answer is going to be no. Once you start to think more consciously about it, it is going to become easier to break that cycle. A little tip I'll give you guys first, real quick, and I learned this from, her name is Mel Robbins. It's called the 5-second rule. Just count when you start to think that way, and you know that it's not the right spot, and you still have those urges and cravings to go back to do that thing that you know you shouldn't be doing. Just say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and imagine yourself blasting off like a rocket, and go do something else. Get the hell out of that area. Change your mindset. Go do some dishes. Go do something that's gonna change and take your mind off what you were gonna do, and then start thinking about something completely different and change the subject on your mind. That can be really powerful in helping you get out of those cravings and urges, right? If it keeps coming back, there are other techniques we'll have to talk about in a different video for the sake of it being long. But that's really what I want to talk about today on this video, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on this. If you are a parent, if you're not a parent, if you've just seen other people who have kids, your friends, family members, whatever it may be, what's your perspective on it? Do you think becoming a parent would be really difficult? Are you planning on becoming a parent if you're not already? What has your experience been? Do you think there's something that could have made it easier for you in the process? And make sure you give this video a like and shoot me a follow and check out my content.